Hey viewers, Nick here. Just going to walk you through the backwash and rinse cycle real quick on your Intex Sand Filter. You probably found your way to this video through the Intex Sand Filter settings explained. Now I'm just going to show you real quick them in operation. So first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you have enough water in your pool to actually complete these two cycles. Now my kids were in here playing and I didn't have enough water in here, so I filled it up, except for I filled it up a little too much. So now you can see that I have ample amount of water in here to go ahead and get through these two processes. Because what's going to basically be happening is the water is going to be flowing out of the tank here. It's going to be coming out the drain port for both the backwash and the rinse cycle and just, shooting out into the yard. So first thing you're going to want to do, obviously the pump, you're going to want to have the pump off. You can see right now that I have it in the filter position. Once you have it off, go ahead and take off the drain port and make sure that you grab this little guy so you don't have to hunt for it later. This is the little rubber O-ring that's inside there to make a good seal. Make sure you grab that, set that off to the side. Let's go ahead and toss it down there. Once you have that done, you can go ahead and flip this over into the backwash position. And you're gonna see here, the water just starts now slowly draining out. You can see I got a bunch of, looks like remnants from the tree in there. So we're gonna go ahead and flip this on, and we're gonna let this run for, usually let it run for about, anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute, but really you're letting it run out until the water looks clear. So you can see here, looks a little gritty. It's actually not too bad. My pool is actually pretty clean other than the leaves and stuff in there. We're gonna be keeping an eye on the sight glass, and then once this sight glass looks nice and clear, usually I just put my finger down there. If you can see through to your finger, then it's usually pretty good. So we'll just let it run here for a second, see if this clears up a little bit. You can see that looks pretty good. Not really seeing any more garbage come out of there. So that should be good. Now do not change these settings while the pump is on. What we're gonna do now to do the rinse cycle is we're gonna go back over here and flip the pump off. So make sure you flip the pump off. Go ahead and keep that drain port open. Change it from backwash over to rinse. And then on the rinse cycle, you're gonna wanna let that run for about 30 seconds to a minute as well. And what that's doing is it's gonna go ahead and rinse the sand and also kind of basically just kind of even it out inside the tank from the backwash, throwing it all around in there to get all the gunk and stuff out. So let's go ahead and turn this back on. You can see here that water is spitting out again, and sight glass is nice and clear. Now if you ended up getting sand and stuff like that in the sight glass as a result of the backwash, you should see it clear out as a result of the rinse cycle. So you can see here that that's nice and clear. I can see my finger when I hold it back there, or if I kind of look at it from above. So that is that's looking really good. We'll let it run for a few more seconds here just to kind of even out the sand, and then we should be all set. And the reason that you would want to do this anyways, I mentioned it in the other video, but in case you didn't watch that one, is if you see your pressure building here, so if you see it like getting up into the high yellow red, that's probably an indicator that you're going to need the backwash. Now it's not always the case. Let me go ahead and shut this off first. So if you notice after doing a backwash that your pressure is, like after you turn it back on, the pressure's at 0 right now because we have the tank open. But if you put it all back together and you notice the pressure is still high, these Intex sand filters are kind of known for that. You could go through, like open everything up, make sure there's nothing wrong with the laterals and kind of inspect everything. But I've seen a lot of people say that the pressure is just kind of high, like out of the box on their Intex sand filter. May not be your case. You might have to do a little bit of investigative work, but just keep that in mind. Now that this is all done, what we do is we'll go ahead and switch this back over to filter. That's going to go ahead and close up the drain port there so that water isn't leaking out anymore. And let's go ahead and replace your rubber O-ring. Screw your cap back on. There we go. That's all sealed up. You can see that the sight glass is nice and clear. If you, if for any reason that there is still some stuff in here, you can just go ahead and unscrew that, empty it out or rinse it out. Let's go ahead and screw it back in. It comes in and out nice and easy. All right, now we're going to go ahead and so we're already on the filter position. We should be able to see this pressure build here once I turn the tank back on. So I'm going to try to reach around. You might get a little bit of a close up here while I'm reaching. Just want you to be able to see the pressure build back up. See how it just jumped from basically 0 up into the Can't exactly see the number there, but looks like we're just below 10 psi, probably at like 7 or something like that. So that's good. We're in the green, and it's that easy. So if you have any questions, throw it down in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to keep this video short. As always, thank you for watching. If you found it helpful, give me a thumbs up or consider subscribing. Lots of other good videos on the channel. Thanks as always.